The Sharpshooter Podcast.
Well, so explain to my audience what exactly an EMP is.
Okay. EMP, shorthand, electromagnetic pulse weapon. It's created by lofting about 3 small nuclear warheads above the Earth's atmosphere. Blow them over the eastern United States, central United States, western United States. They're not that powerful as nukes go, 40 to 60 kiloton, about 4 times the size of the Hiroshima bomb. But when they detonate, it sets up an electrostatic discharge called the Compton effect, which was first clearly seen in a study done in 1962 when they blew one in space and it shorted out the power system in Hawaii. That Compton effect cascades down to the Earth's surface at that speed of light, overloads, sets up an electrostatic discharge that overloads the power grid, and everything starts shutting down. It is catastrophic. It's not tinfoil hat. There's been several congressional studies. All of them say the same thing. The bad number is, if we were ever hit by that, upwards of 90% of Americans will be dead a year later.
That's crazy. And this is, but there is, like you said, the one in Indiana, that was natural, right? I mean, that's also a possibility as well.
Yeah, that was just an ice storm that just went catastrophic. Everything's shut down. But with an EMP, when it hits, it blows the grid out. And I know 90% sounds, this is crazy, but I'll ask you a question right now. Where are you located?
I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Okay. Oh, great. Can you imagine that on a July day?
Yeah, I know. I'd be screwed.
Where do you, okay, my question is, where do you get your water?
It's from the Salt River Project, which I think our water comes from Colorado. I believe it comes all the way down from we have this, the Colorado River comes all the way through the Salt River Project, and it's a man-made lakes and then through the filtering system or whatever. So yeah.
What happens if there's no electricity?
Right. And isn't that like most of America? I mean, I guess unless you're getting it from a well on a farm or something.
But even then you're using electrical power.
What if you have the old school bucket or whatever?
The
cartoons and stuff.
Like an old grandpa's out there hitting the pump.
Yeah.
But, what happens is, I call it Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You're going to lose your water immediately. Within several days, that's going to be bad. Second, food supply isn't moving anymore. Average town has about 20 days worth of food on hand, from what's in your freezer to what's pulling up in a truck. That's gone. Your pharmacies are gone. They're no longer taking shipments. Nursing homes would be an absolute nightmare. I mean, you have a large elderly population in Arizona. Can you imagine them without power, even for a week, without air conditioning? And then, of course, disease sets in. What happens in your major cities, which are bad enough as is right now? Imagine if there's no longer a police present at all. Things start going very bad.
Yeah. Again, you said it would take 5 years to recover, and even then, it would only be 20% would be back, which is
good. You read that. When I was at a conference, about 500 people, and it's about this. DOE study said 5 years, only about 20% of our power grid would be restored. And somebody quipped, well, die, I guess it averages out. That's a hell of a bit of arithmetic, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where do they get 90%? Who are the 10% surviving, and how are they doing that? Can I be part of that 10%?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it's going to be luck, being in the right place at the right time with the right food supply. I'm talking about this every day, and I'm telling people I have at least 1 to 2 months emergency supplies on hand in every house. You got food, you got water, something you can cook with without poisoning yourself if you're inside the house. Yes, you might have to think about, am I going to be secure? That came out of a couple of great congressional studies. First one in 2002, a guy named Dr. Peter Pride. He became my mentor. He was the true expert. I deferred to him. Sadly, Peter died a couple of months ago. And I think part of his death was simply he worked himself to death trying to get legislation passed, and it would stall every single time in Congress and go no further.